is coming on. Fire starts spinning round and round. I don't care who's up and down. Deep in my soul, I know what you know. When I start to hear the sound of a heartbeat, it's a love beat and love beat. It's a good vibration of a heartbeat.
You know, it's Friday, and I can't think of anything better than, first of all, saying hello to all my buddies live on Facebook. Life is good. Hope you guys are having a great Friday night or Saturday morning if you're over there in Europe and Asian countries. Milk, energy drinks, telephone. Hello? Yes, I'm going to show people how to eat peanut butter and bananas properly. And we're going to talk about Babe Ruth and how I got married 34 years ago for a couple months. Okay, I'll be, yeah, call me back. Okay, bye. But first, we're going to listen to the DeFranco family with Heartbeat, It's a Love Beat. Let's have some fun. Hello? Yeah, call me back. It's too bad I can't play music live over Facebook because I have so much funny music you guys have never even heard. And I am dying to play it over Facebook and they won't let me. You big babies. All right. How you guys doing, first of all? I'm doing really good. Thank you very much. And I've got so many things I want to chit chat about on this fine Friday night. Corey Draper here, if you don't know who the hell I am, and I'm in Salt Lake City, Utah. Right now, it's going on 7 o'clock at night. The weather's awesome here right now. Sure, it's a little cooler, but if you look outside, it looks like it's like summer. Crystal clear. The mountains are bright orange, bright green, bright yellow. It's this way for like a month, and then all of a sudden, it gets really cold. Some wind comes along. Everything turns brown for like the next, 4 or 5 months for winter. So if you're coming to Utah, come now because it's still nice weather and it looks like a bowl of Fruit Loops and Skittles exploded up in the mountains. So, all right. Well, anyway, today is a weird day for me because on October 11th, 1985, I got married. All right. And just to go back a little bit to explain my weird life, my so-called life, is that movie or TV show. I dated pretty much the same girl throughout high school. I didn't get like all those great stories of, man, there was a kegger up in the mountains. Billy had a party because his parents were out of town. There was beer, topless girls everywhere, sex in the hot tubs. I really didn't get to do any of that in high school because I pretty much had the same girlfriend the whole time. Now, I don't regret that. It was fun. Smoking hot. I was very happy. Dated the same girl. Not all 4 years in high school, because when I grew up in high school, it was 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I know most high schools are kind of like that, but some high schools, I know they're so crowded that they keep you in middle school. Is that what it's called? Or junior high? And then they put you in high school, 10, 11, 12. I even heard of high schools where they're like all year round. And then I even heard high school where they did like 12 classes. 1 through 6 is like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then they did other classes Tuesday, Thursday. I mean, school's out of control. Let's just keep it this way. Preschool, kindergarten, 1st through 5th grade, let's keep it at elementary. Junior high, 6, 7, and 8. And then high school, 9, 10, 11, and 12. I think that's kind of normal. But I heard that some high schools are like, no, 9th grade shouldn't mix with 12th grade. Because when you're in 12th grade, you have chest hair. You might have a beard. And you're super manly and macho with just estrogen and hormones out of control. So don't mix those 9th graders with 12th graders. Oh, it's bullshit. 9th grade and 12th grade, I had friends that were older than me. Some of my best friends were all older than me. And I had a lot of friends, but I had buddies all the way up to 12th grade and 9th grade. So I think, you know, if high school is 9, 10, 11, and 12, I don't, I'm pretty sure everything's going to work out okay. So anyway, hey, everybody on Facebook, cheers. These are sugar-free, calorie-free rock stars. They're only $1 at Fresh Market. So what did I do? I went and bought 25 of them. I don't want to get fat. I don't want to get diabetes. And my gosh, Rockstar energy drink with these electric super grape drinks. Please. Another good drink is ice cold coffee. Now, the reason I have ice cold coffee and not coffee, I have ice cold milk in my coffee cup. Can you see it's white? Cheers. Because tonight I'm going to show you guys how to eat bananas and peanut butter. Not in a gay way. Not in a sexual way at a bachelor party. Because Lord knows, when you get some kind of open-minded girls and bananas, I know it can happen. And I know when guys have like bananas and they're like all by themselves and lonely on a Friday night, I know what happens to these. And that's not going to happen on this Facebook feed. If Facebook would let me do it, I probably would. I'm a Facebook whore. I will do anything to make people laugh on Facebook. Yeah, call me back. Okay. Now, I want to talk about my super long marriage and Babe Ruth, how to eat a banana, how to pretend it's a phone, and I want to show you some other cool stuff just on my Facebook page. Sound good? All right. Hey, everyone in the chat room, what's going on that mighty Facebook? Now, if I may, I want to show you my latest Lego mess, okay? I think you guys are going to dig it. I dig it. I think you guys will too. So just bear with me as I pick it up. I love this one. Now, I don't even know how many Lego kits I have right now. It's a lot, and I love every one of them. This one is just pure badass. All right, I've altered it a little bit, but can you guys see it on the chat room okay? Can you guys see it on my webcam? Junkertown, baby. All right, and look at, there's like the jaws, like if I put my finger in there, look at that. Ooh, look at right there. Ow, ooh. Can you see that? That's actually Lego jaws. Look. Okay. Now the cool part is the motorcycle. It does come off the stand, but I'm really proud of this display. And you can see that it does spin. Now check it out. It's a trike. I'm going to put a big minifig. I'm going to probably put Hulk or someone sexy in here driving. I haven't made up my mind yet. But check it out. It does spin and it does come off. See, you just lift. But isn't that bad? Look at that. Check out the horns on the headlight. And look at the horns on the back of the seat. It has 4 exhausts. But look at the sidecar. Isn't that tough, man? I love it. And then look, even the other side of it looks kind of cool. So this is my latest Lego creation. All right, that is so cool. Now, when the camera's off, I literally go on my desk here and go, brrr. I do all that stuff that kids still do. I am a grown-ass man. Doesn't mean I have to act that way. Okay, let's stick it in. All right, well, there you go. I love it. It is so cool. All right, there we go. Okay, one topic down. Man, I love Legos. Legos make me happy. And so does energy drinks. I want to talk about movies too. You guys like movies? Let's talk about movie. Where'd it go? Here it is. I'm a big fan of certain cartoons. Hong Kong Phooey. What started off, I think everybody my age or even younger, Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, Saturday morning cartoons. Now, if you guys are my age, I shit you not, Saturday morning was as big as Christmas in the 70s. late 60s, but mostly in the 70s. The reason why is because all the brand new cartoons, syndication wasn't even invented yet. All you spoiled, rotten youngsters out there, you guys cry if Netflix isn't streaming fast enough. You have 7 million forms of entertainment, YouTube, texting. Oh my God, you guys have pagers. You guys have Hulu, Netflix. How many apps are just free? You got, it's called Vudu. There's Tubi, Tubi. There's Crackle. There is so much content that's free online. It's mind effing blowing. Back in the 70s, when I was starting to grow little muscles, little bits of chest hair, a little bit of pubes, my Wang Chung was like this big, but in the 70s, it grew like to this big. That's right. I added like 2 to 3 inches from 1970 to 1979. I think I have pictures of it. Do you guys want to see? Hold on a minute. No, call me back. I'm talking about my penis in the 70s. Yeah, again. Okay. Thanks, Mom. Okay. Now, Saturday morning, you would get up and you would freak the F out. First of all, you get up at 6 in the morning. You would have cereal, preferably something with a shitload of sugar, like sugar corn pops, Frosted Flakes. You guys had Lucky Charms. I even got into grape nuts. Grape nuts literally tastes like nuts. And I don't mean on your buddy named Stanley. It literally tastes like ground up gravel. But if you let it sit in milk for like 6 hours before you eat grape nuts and you put some sugar and bananas in it, it's a mighty fine cereal. I still eat it almost every week to this day. My cereal that I really love, Cookie Crisp. I go through a shitload of it. I love Raisin Bran. I am so addicted to Raisin Bran. I get the brand that has extra raisins. I will tolerate just the normal Raisin Bran, but I will go out of my way. I'll drive 20 miles just to find the boxes where it's extra raisins in Raisin Bran. And I'm looking over, I go through cereal like crazy. So, but anyway, Saturday morning, get up at 6 a.m. You eat breakfast as fast as you can, and you went over to the TV, probably a 19-inch, as big as a 27-inch, if you were really loaded, and you watch Saturday morning cartoons. First run, Bugs Bunny, Hong Kong Phooey, Josie, and the Pussycats. And then you got into like other cool stuff like Sigmund and the Sea Monster, Land of the Lost, H.R. Puffin stuff. Where you go when things get rough, or if you're a young boy and you like to put flutes up your ass. That's right. Do. Hi, Jimmy. You know, there was this English guy. He kind of looked like a young version of the lead singer of the Monkees, but he was walking around having a great time. He had a flute up his ass. Then he had like this pedophile dragon named H.R. Puffin stuff. Puff and stuff. Ooh, Jimmy, give it to you. I mean, you know. I watched this shit. How I didn't have like shapes like this up my ass first to sixth grade is probably a miracle, and that's because I wore tight jeans back then. I did a lot of skateboarding and BMX. But if you watched H.R. Puffin stuff, I'm pretty sure you grew up to be a pedophile, or you're in jail right now if you're a male. I can guarantee it. And if you're a girl watching it, you probably went out and bought flutes and named it Jimmy. Now, getting back to movies, I love cartoons. Not every one of them made, because I know there's like just 5 billion cartoons out there now, but you know, Hong Kong Phooey, like I said, Speed Racer, they only made 17 episodes. My God, I idolized it. I have models and posters and action figures of Speed Racer on the other side of this wall. That's what a big fan I am. But when cartoons became so clear that they're almost 3D and they would like jump off the screen, like Pixar, like the movie Cars. Okay, now, how I got addicted to cars is growing up in Santa Barbara, I had a good buddy named Doug Foose. He went by Chip. Now he's a world famous car designer of overhauling, but his name's Chip Foose. Most people know him if you're a car fanatic, but he helped kind of create the design of the cartoon Cars. And it came out around 2006, if I remember right. But I was such a fan of Chip. I got to meet him in Las Vegas and say hi after all these years. We grew up and we played little league football and stuff. But when I read that he had something to do with cars, I kind of said, well, you know what? I'm going to check out this cartoon. So since 2006, I have been addicted to Disney Pixar cartoons. I have never seen Mickey Mouse. I don't think I've seen Cinderella, Pluto, Dildo, Snuffy, Chlamydia, Butthole. All those, I can't handle it. I can't even go to Disneyland because I tried to go a couple months ago in Disney World in Florida. I got sick because I went on Space Mountain or Epcot Center, but that's a whole long story. But I'm not a fan of Disneyland. Those characters, Goofy, hi, sit on my lap. I got no pants on, and I've got something banana shaped. Winnie the Pooh didn't even wear pants. And did you hear his voice? Yeah, he definitely went to HR Puff and stuff, and he bought a flute and put it up his ass and named it Jimmy, because anyone that got into Winnie the Pooh and all those weird sicko characters, no thank you. I've never been a Disney fan at all until 05 to 06 when the movie Cars came out, and I mean with Lightning McQueen, Mater, and all those other great characters. So Pixar Disney blew me away because that first Cars movie, I've never wanted to live in the desert in a little town named Radiator Springs, meet myself a pretty little car named, what's her name? Portia, Lottie, I forgot her name. She's the baby blue Porsche. I actually have the model just on the other side of the wall here as well. But it got me hooked on the Pixar cartoons because I go back to the 60s and the 70s when Mel Blanc was just a god. He was the guy that voiced Daffy Duck to Bugs Bunny to Porky Pig. He's voiced more stuff than I can possibly talk about in an hour here. But man, I got hooked on Toy Story, Cars Part 2 and 3. I got into Planes, and some of the other cartoons. They are so clear, and so I believe they're real. I still think that all the toys, they really do, like when I leave, because I have most of the Toy Story. I forgot his name, the astronaut and Howdy Doody, Tom Hanks, Woody, and of course the space robot guy. I forgot. I have his action figure just on the other side of the room here. But I love Toy Story, but I've only seen part 1. I think a little bit of 2. I didn't even know there was a 3 because Redbox for $1 just came out this morning with Toy Story Part 4. All my buddies got a hold of me today and said, you got to see it. If you like part 1 or 2, part 4 is kick-ass. So I now have to find online and rent part 3 because I'm going to watch them out of order. And I hope it doesn't matter. Like, Star Wars makes sense and the Marvel movies make sense if you watch them in order. But I have watched part 1. I liked it. Part 2, I remember I liked it, but I think I only saw half of it. I didn't even know there was a part 3, but I can't wait to see part 4 to Toy Story. And I'm going to do that in just a little bit, about a half hour or so. And I'm excited. But these Pixar, Disney, is it Pixar? Did they sell? Because I know Pixar, didn't Apple, Steve Jobs own Pixar, and then Disney bought it out? But man, I love these cartoons. I can't wait. I hope they make a Cars Part 4. I will literally be bummed out if they don't make Planes Part 2 or 3. I think there's 2 planes, isn't there? But man, I can't wait to see this. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, everybody on Facebook, if you're watching me live, I just wanted to say hi real quick. I'm going to flip my screen over because I want to talk about when you're in high school and you have the same girlfriend and you do have protection. And I'm talking the pill. I think they're called rubbers. Condiments, is that what they're called? I don't even know where to buy a rubber at right now. Don't you just go to Amazon and they just deliver it like in an hour? But anyway, let me get my screen here. I'm gonna flip my screen so you guys can see my screen, and I'm gonna take you on a journey of my life. And it's not that exciting, but it gives me something to do here while I stall to flip my screen. Okay, let me flip the screen right now. All right. Okay, you guys should see a handsome young man and a very lovely girl. I don't know if I want to say her name because, this is, by the way, 34 years ago. That's the girl I married. That is me with a Rick Springfield feathered haircut. This is my dad. And all these hairdos right here had a lot of Aquanet, curling iron, and permanent waves. Because back in 1985, You know how you girls all dressed back then, and you know all the fashions. But anyway, this was October 11th, 1985, 34 freaking years ago. My marriage was so short, I still can't believe I even got married. Now, we got married so young. She was only 17. I was 18, I think, in a month or two. All right. But I'm out of high school. She was my high school sweetheart. Somehow, while she was on the pill and we used protection, she did get pregnant. And we gave birth, obviously, to my son, Casey. And this is her right here. You can see that fancy, frosted, delightful hairdo that 1985 was just screaming. And here's my little buddy. This is Casey. On a sad note, he did pass away last Christmas Eve, almost 10 months ago. But here's my son. He popped out. I was going to work at like 6 a.m. doing construction. His mom, Carrie, said, "Oh my God!" She called me and said my water broke, and I'm like, "What's that mean?" So she went to Altaview Hospital, literally on January 26th, 1986. Okay, so if you can see here on my screen, I was married just a few months before my son was born. So everyone's like, "Well, did you have to get married?" And I guess you could say, yeah, but we really didn't have to. No one put a gun to our head and said, "You better get married or you're going to go to hell." I'm not religious. She wasn't religious. We just thought, we've been going out in high school for a lot of years. Maybe we should get married. And I didn't mind. I mean, I wasn't dating around. I was working with her dad, actually. So we're like, you know what? Why don't we just get married? And we're going to have ourselves a son. We checked in advance, and I knew that my son was going to be having a wiener, I think it's called, a wee-wee. So I got to pick the name. She was going to pick the name if it was a girl, and I got to pick the name if it was a boy. And I named him Casey just because I like the name. But you know what's funny? And this is a true story. I love the band, Casey and the Sunshine Band. They bring me joy still to this day. When I hear all those disco songs, it instantly puts me back 1975 to 1978, where disco was just like on fire. I remember everyone dancing, having a great time, and me wanting to hate it because it didn't sound like Kiss and Van Halen. But I was going to name my son K and the letter C, and at the last minute we said Casey. And I still love the letter K and the letter C. I asked my son when he got older, like, "Hey, would you mind if your name was the letter K and C?" And knowing my son, he just goes, I don't give a shit. Yeah, my son said that when he was like 3 and 7 and 21 and 26 and 32. So my son coined the phrase, "I don't give a shit," I think when he was about 6 months old. So anyway, but here's my son, Casey. He popped out. There was no complications. Everything was good at Altaview Hospital with Dr. Later. And if you live in Sandy, Utah, Dr. Later, he's a legend. He's given birth to 70% of that whole town. And it's the second biggest town in Utah, right behind Salt Lake. So, but anyway, here's my son, and here's the girl that married me for a few months, and there she is there, very pretty girl. I thought she was the best looking girl at Alta High School, so I was very excited to date her and to see her boobies. Okay, here's my son. You can see the puka shells. I love puka shells as well. I collect them. I have them all over my studio walls, all over the place. Right up here, I have a really cool set I got out of Hawaii. But my son, he loved the hats. He looked kind of like Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit a lot, because he was into the red hat before Donald Trump got the red hat popular again. But he loved wearing baseball hats backwards, and that was the style. Here we are in my boat, right below Lake Mead. We used to put the boat in just a few miles down from Lake Mead's Hoover Dam, and we would I'd water skis too, Sea-Doos, jet skis. So, but here's my son here a handful of years ago. I lived in Las Vegas 9 years. He lived down there with me, and this is a photo, man. I love to see it. He's squinting, kind of like his dad does, because it was like 100 degrees right here and the sun was out. But yeah, my son Casey, he was born a few months after I got married. And there I am there. This is in South Jordan. If you live in Utah, Winder Dairy is a really big company for milk and dairy products. The owner of Winder Dairy is the guy that married us, because I'm not Mormon, and I don't think she was either, but next door to my parents is the owner of Winder Dairy, and he's a great guy, and he's Mormon as hell, but he knew I swore. He knew that we were a bunch of young kids in high school that accidentally got pregnant, but he was a good guy. I think his name is Doug or something like that, but I can't remember. This is 34 years ago, but it was a massive wedding. It was a lot bigger than I thought. It was at a place called the White House, and it's no longer in Utah. They bulldozed it down, and I think it's condos now or something, but very famous place. And it was a lot of fun. I had so many people at my wedding, I didn't know anybody there. I mean, once you marry into a Mormon family, or the Mormon church says, hey, there's a couple young people getting married, bring gifts. But 34 years ago, after I said I do, for like 2 or 3 straight hours was nonstop people giving us gifts, spoons, plates, toasters, can openers. I'm like, can we get cash and cassettes of Motley Crue? How about the new Rick Springfield Working Class Dog? I mean, but we really got a lot of stuff. And I'm not Mormon, so the weddings that I went to, I just thought, you just kind of give a couple bucks, or you just give them a card and stuff. I didn't realize that you get gifts. So I thought, well, hey, can we get married like every 6 months? Because holy shit, I'd have like a 7,000 square foot home furnished if I got married, 6 or 7 times. And in Utah, that's very common. You can actually marry 7 girls at once in Utah in some cities. So anyway, October 11th, I can't believe it. I got married 34 years ago. It didn't work out. I wasn't her cup of tea. We divorced as fast as we could, and she actually was remarried a week after our divorce. So she recovered pretty fast. I've been single ever since. Now, I've dated a couple girls over the last 34 years, and they go, God, you don't really seem like you want to commit. We have a lot of fun. We get to certain levels of the relationship, and it seems to stop. I'm like, and then they go, do you have like a brick wall? Is there a barrier? Do you have commitment issues? And I'm like, yes. I have concrete, titanium, lead. I'm pretty sure that if you took a cannon and shot it at the Pentagon, which is one of the most secure buildings in the world, and you shot it at my wall of commitment, I'm pretty sure that my wall is almost as tough as the Pentagon's. So I apologize to the girls that I've dated, not just random by the hour or by the week, but I mean girls that were really good to me and really nice. And they all know my story. I'm just saying it right now because there's nothing else for me to do except play with my banana. But 34 years ago, isn't that what it is? 2019 minus 1985. Isn't it like 18? So 15 plus 19. Isn't that like 34? But I didn't have a lot of money. After our wedding, we went up to a place called Park City, which is literally 25 minutes. I live at the bottom of a big mountain, the Wasatch Mountains. I can literally get to Park City in about a half hour. That's where I went on my honeymoon. We just had one night. I was working with her dad. So what we did is we went to the hotel. There was no romance. We dated all through high school. We'd seen each other naked many times. I was so tired after the wedding, I could not keep my eyes open. So when we got back to the hotel, I just remember Cannonball Run Part 2 was on the cheesy little TVs in 1985 and we stayed in I think it was called the Yarrow. And if you guys are listening to me right now from Salt Lake, do you guys remember a long time ago? Remember Park City and all those big concerts with Night Ranger, REO Speedwagon, and Cheap Trick? It's that hotel that when you're almost into Park City, it's on the left side. So you're driving past Park West. When you almost get to the heart of Park City, on the left side is that hotel. Was it called the Yarrow? Does that make sense? It was that hotel. So me and my wife, of like a few hours. We got to the hotel. I turned on the television. I remember Cannonball Run Part 2 was on. I remember she was tired as all hell, couldn't wait to get out of our clothes and just lay on the bed. And I think I was asleep within 36 minutes. And I'm pretty sure she was probably asleep in 39 minutes. But from what I can tell, when I went to sleep on my honeymoon, she picked up the phone and called the guy that she married 1 week after our divorce. I wish I was kidding. I'm laughing about it now, but I wasn't back then. So anyway, while my new wife of 2 hours was on the phone with her next husband, I slept like, I think like a baby, because I was so tired. But by then I was laying cement outside. It was cold as hell because it was October. And I used to get up at 4 a.m. to be on the job site at 5:45. So when you're used to going to bed like at 8 at night to get up at 5, but when you're wearing like a cheesy suit and you're tired, you have to shake hands. It was so great to get all the gifts and all the money. I almost feel like I want to give all of it back, because the wedding was just, it was very expensive. And I even apologized to my ex-wife's father. He's a good buddy of mine. And if you see this, I really am embarrassed that the marriage was so short. But her dad's name is Cal. And I talked to him when my son passed away 10 months ago. And I even did apologize, because I'm so embarrassed about the wedding, because I know it was expensive. It was very big. There was the flowers, the line, there was every expense you could imagine. Uh, it was awesome because the Wilford Brimley is best friends with my ex-wife's father, and he showed up, and man, he was in Cocoon, the China Syndrome, The Verdict. Man, it's just so exciting when you have a famous person, and even Wilford. What a cool guy. And you know what? He borrowed my son like $100 within a month before my son passed away, because he went to Williston. Um, is it South Dakota or North Dakota, where everyone goes for the oil and stuff? But my son ran out of money coming on the way back. So my son dropped by Wilford's house up in Montana, and Wilford gave him $100 so he could afford to get home with gas and all that stuff. So thank you, Wilford. Wilford is still alive, and he's such a great actor and such a sweet guy. I can't thank him enough for borrowing my son $100. I owe Wilford Brimley 100, and I owe my ex-wife's father, Cal. I don't know how much that wedding is, but I don't know what it was, but man, if I paid him back, I think I'd feel a lot better about myself, because my wedding was really amazing. And thank you to Cal. And if you know Cal, please pass on my words of thank you if you watch this video on the replay or whatever. Maybe I should call him again just to thank him. And he's such a cool guy. He'd be like, you know what, you guys were young, and beautiful wedding. And, it's 34 years ago, but still I'm really embarrassed about the wedding I had, because I didn't know that I was getting a divorce. I was so stupid. I got back from work, and all of my stuff was missing except my cassettes of Motley Crue, my bed, and my clothes. And what happened is, when I was at work with her dad, she called up movers and moved all of her stuff and all the gifts we got to her father's house in the garage, I was told. So, boy, when I got home a couple months after I got married, I was like, I called the cops. I was so stupid and naive that I called the police, because I thought someone broke in and stole all this stuff. And if you saw, it was like the best burglary ever. It's like they went in and said, I want the toaster, I want the Cornell, I want all of the woman's clothes, I want the furniture, I want this, I want that, and make sure you get that toaster, because I think there was 2 that we got. So I was so dumb. The cops came, and while they were there just doing a report, going, are you sure this is a burglary? Because they probably thought I was faking it, like I had insurance. But I honestly thought that I was burglarized. And back then there was no cell phones or pagers. I didn't know how to get a hold of my wife of 5 hours. So while I was there, my phone rang, and it was the girl that I married. And that's where she said, you know what, I don't think it's going to work out. And then I had to tell the police what I just found out. And I'll never forget, they literally were like laughing. While my life was going, these cops were laughing their asses off, and they're probably only 25 years old. Back then, don't you, you know, when you're younger, you think every cop is like 50. But I gave a good chuckle to Salt Lake City police officers. But um, I'm just saying this because I've told this story to a handful of people. Um, my marriage was so short and so long ago. It's almost like a movie that you saw late at night, like it was midnight and you watched a movie and it was really just kind of not really that exciting and you went back to bed. That's kind of how my marriage is. But my son lasted almost 33 years, you know, and he's with me right now. Not to, you know, bring down my conversation here, but, you know, my son did pass away last Christmas Eve. And I don't regret anything. You can have so many regrets in life, and you know dang well you can't change your past. You just can't. If you could, you obviously would. To make your life more ideal, you'd be rich, you'd be more handsome, you'd have bigger boobies, you'd have different house, different, I mean, you know. So if you could change your past, it's always like, you know, to better yourself in ways that are just insanely cool when you sit back and fantasize winning Powerball, which is like 400 or 500 million bucks. So, but if I could change a few things, I obviously would. But it's not how I had my son in high school. The wedding was awesome. I wish it would have been smaller. I wish we would have just went in a convertible car to Vegas. You know, back then it was probably, I don't know, 300 bucks in 1985. Now it's probably a grand or two, but I don't regret on how things played out because it made me very streetwise. It did make me single my whole life, and I've never felt like getting married. I have friends that I have one friend that's been married 13 times. And if you guys know me, you know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say her name, but everybody knows her. But I have friends that are married 2 to 3 times. And it seems appropriate because your first marriage is usually kind of reckless and crazy, or maybe you were young, or maybe you had like a kid and you felt like getting married was the right thing to do. And that's why I got married. No doubt about it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Um, but if you get married a second time and it doesn't work out, you've learned a lot by then. And if you marry a third time, it's usually for the rest of your life. If you look at the pattern of marriages, some people like Elizabeth Taylor, there's other actress and actor, you know, Larry King, the famous talk show host, he married my friend's sister and they just got a divorce. Larry's been married, what, 8 times? What kind of psycho dickhead gets married 8 times? Or a girl? I'm like, come on, you know. The only time you marry 8 times is when you're on the forensic files, because you'll watch that show and this girl, they're called Black Widows, I think. She'll marry one guy, get a $100,000 life insurance policy, and sure as shit, he's drinking strychnine or rat poison. 5 years later, she's married to another guy, has a farm, has assets about 400,000 bucks. Bam, the guy dies mysteriously. So if you're a Black Widow killing guys, or if you're a guy killing girls, you know, I can see where you marry until you're caught going to prison the rest of your life because you're trying to put like rat poison or gator or what's it called, Prestone or what in your spouse's Wheaties so you can better your life through death with life insurance. I get that. But for the life of me, when someone gets married over 3 times, I just think, you guys, why? Unless you have kids, I always thought marriage is best if you're going to have a family and you want a same name, you know, there's structure and everything else. But if you're older, like in my case, I'm almost 53 here. I can't imagine why I would get married this late in life. Unless the girl's like, I just want your last name. And I just go, well, just say Draper. I mean, I don't know. I'm done having kids. I would love to have one more kid, to be honest, but through an adoption, just myself. I don't want any nonsense or crazy stuff. I wouldn't mind probably just myself, but no, that's down the road. You know, that's something that I've always thought maybe I'd like down the road. But when it comes to marriage, it never was meant to be. I think if my son didn't come along as a little seed in high school, I really don't think I would have ever married at all. And I know that's weird. I was having a conversation with a really good friend of mine 2 days ago, and she's like, "Aren't you lonely? Don't you want to have, grow old with someone? Don't you want this? Don't you want that?" And I'm like, "Not yet." I mean, I really don't. I have friends that are single right now, and I think they would like to have somebody. That makes sense. I've been the type of guy where I watch that show Castaways with Tom Hanks, where he falls in love with that volleyball named Wilson or something. And he makes love to it doggy style. Remember that show? When he's on the island, I was watching that going, that kind of looks peaceful. The FedEx jet wrecked. I never could understand how all these FedEx boxes were in the ocean, which is salt water. And when the boxes got to him, they still had the FedEx box looking brand new. But when he's on that island for a while, I'm like, that sounds kind of fun. And I could get a killer tan. So, when Gilligan's Island went on a 3-hour tour, and for some reason, their boat went 25 miles an hour for a 3-hour tour. The farthest they could be in the middle of nowhere is a whopping 70 something miles. But no one could find them. So they must have had the Bermuda Triangle. That Bermuda Triangle was in full effect. Somehow it moved on the outskirts of LA when it's supposed, it's kind of, don't tell the producers of Gilligan's Island, but they're on the wrong coast. but anyway, I always thought it kind of sounded fun. Could it be on an island by myself? As long as I could have like maybe a cell phone, because I got to do selfies, do some, wiener shots, I mean, all of it, girls do booby shots, or, you got to do something when you're on that island. So I wouldn't mind being by myself as long as I can have my note phone with me in a charger, and maybe, solar powered electricity, of course, and peanut butter and a banana, and on a remote island where they, coincidentally have Rockstar energy drinks and an icy cold fridge on the beach. Call me crazy, but I'm kind of into that. So anyway, 34 years ago, I got married for a couple months. Didn't last. Didn't really work out too well. And I've been single ever since. I don't think I'll ever marry. I have a lot of people like that too that I've met over the years, and they never wanted to marry either. So I feel like I'm in the 1%, but there is other people like that. And it's hard to explain why. I was trying to explain myself a couple days ago, and at the end of the conversation, she still goes, "Okay, well, but don't you still want somebody? Don't you want to marry someone?" And I'm like, broken record. I need to sit on my Jimmy flute from HR Puff and stuff and, clean out my colon. So anyway, 34 years ago, I got married, and, I don't regret anything. I had a very just great experience up and down with my son, Casey. He's resting in peace. He's in a jar right now. He's been cremated. He's in my Kid Rock jar, and he's with me every day. And that's okay right now. I can deal with it, and I'm happy that he at least had almost 33. He died 32 years old with 11 months in the can. He almost got a couple weeks where he would have been 32 or 33. Sorry. So, but anyway, if you're looking at my screen, my son is in his mom's little belly there. And there's his mom there, and there's my son when he was about, I don't know, probably a year old, maybe. It's hard to tell, but yep, he had some cool hair. And there's his mom there, and there's my son there. So anyway, it's just weird when every October 11th, I just think about life. This isn't the first time I've reminisced about it. I literally think a lot about my life October 11th, and just how my life drastically changed when it comes to commitment issues, marriage, and stuff like that. So I'm the first to own it. That my marriage definitely dictated my philosophy of marriage the rest of my life, unfortunately. Happy birthday to Daryl Hall. He's the guy that writes and sings most of the songs. And then that black-haired guy with Hall & Oates. This is Daryl Hall. And then John Oates, I still don't know what he does in Hall & Oates. He just kind of, has black hair and a big mustache. But God, he's 73 years old. And he's a good dude. I love Hall & Oates. They're awesome. Last night at midnight, or last midnight, because it's still the same day, El Camino came on, and I had to work overnight. I got to see this movie. Now, if you're fans of Breaking Bad, Do you guys like Breaking Bad with Hank and Jesse? You know, the young kid that made meth with him and all. I mean, I didn't see that series until way late. I actually had to pay to see it through Google Play. But I'm a big fan of Breaking Bad. The last couple years, it's been gone. They did have kind of a side series called Better Call Saul, and he's the wacky attorney, and I love it. I hope they make another 1 or 2 seasons of it. If they don't, at least we got a couple seasons. But on Netflix, the El Camino, it's a movie. It's not a series. It's one movie about Jesse, the kid. Now, you remember Hank, he gets killed, and they play one of the best songs ever by Badfinger called Baby Blue. It's one of the few songs that literally to this day will put tears in my eyes. And if you guys right now are watching, go to YouTube, put in Badfinger, Baby Blue. And it is, I swear, if you don't cry or get water in your eyes when you hear that, but I remember in Breaking Bad, I think their drugs was blue, wasn't it? It was like baby blue meth or something like that. And Badfinger comes on after Hank gets killed. And then Jesse, the younger kid, is fleeing away from the cops. El Camino, that just came out a few hours ago on Netflix, is the continuation where he's in the car driving and what happens over the next couple hour movie. I'm not going to do any spoiler alerts. There's part of the movie where you're going to go, this is awesome, if you're a big fan of Breaking Bad, okay? But it ends with closure because they leave it where, hey, you know what? If someone has some money, and if Aaron Paul, is that his name? Jesse, and then, of course, Bryan Cranston, he's like a legendary actor. But if they would make another season or 2 of Breaking Bad, sign me up. I'll pay $1 or $2 per episode if I have to, you know, or if Netflix would pick it up. But I think the whole country wouldn't mind another year or 2 of Breaking Bad. Even if Hank said, you know what, I'm dead, you know, what's his name? Bryan Cranston, you know, because they could do flashbacks to kind of, you know, make him involved. But I swear, if they'd make another year or 2 of Breaking Bad, I'm right there. But if you guys didn't, you know, I just follow stuff. I'm a maniac on pop culture and movies and everything else. But if you're looking at my screen right now, just look for El Camino. It's got that sexy 1971 El Camino right there. And you guys are going to love it. If you're Breaking Bad for 2 hours, you're going to go, this is good shit, man. So good for Netflix. I'm excited. It's another, what's it called? A Netflix original. But just remember, it's called El Camino. It's not called Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul. Just El Camino. It just came out. I've already watched it, and you're going to love the F out of it. So, all right. And there's Aaron Paul. He's looking sexy in his car. Look at his little butch hairdo, man. All right. Well, I had tacos this morning, and I had tacos this afternoon. I've had a total of 10 tacos, and I'm going to eat peanut butter and a banana in a few minutes. Oh, there's my good buddy Johnny. My radio show will continue, the Corey Draper Show. If you guys want to see this kick-ass episode, I mean, we've got Brand New Rat, we've got King, Anthrax. Pure Rock Radio is just awesome. It's my dream FM. If I ran a rock station, it's how I do it. I've got well over 6,000 songs in rotation. I've got every Van Halen ever made, every Motley Crue, every AC/DC. I do not limit good artists. There's a lot of shit music out there, but if you just like straight heavy metal, rock, classic rock, and new rock, which is considered active rock, you're going to love Pure Rock Radio. And here's just a good example of just one show. Gore, Anthrax, Cambrian, Coheed, and Cambria. God, I have the hardest time saying that band. But anyway, and oh God, I love these cars. Do you like 1973 Chevelles? Do you like just cheesy 70s cars? Because I used to hate them thinking, oh man, I want a 68 Mustang or a 69 Camaro. Now that I'm older, I like all the 70s cars because they're kind of fun and cheesy and sexy. But this 73 Chevelle I'd kill for, man. That is one of my dream cars. If you guys like the show Drive with Ryan Gosling, where he's a professional driver and he lives next door to a pretty blonde, that's the car, man. That's the shit, man. All right. Everybody thinks living in Utah is, you know, kind of hokey pokey, Mormon and boring. This is Lindsay. She's from Utah and she won Dancing with the Stars a year ago. You see those legs and butt? That's fine. Her best friend is Jenna, also on Dancing with the Stars. Fine. Whitney Carson, her best friend, fine. All these girls are from Utah. Look at the bodies on these girls and their faces. Another girl from Utah. She grew up with my sister in 3rd grade. They rode horses every day. She's been on my radio show forever. This is Jamie Bergman. She's now just a great mom. She has a couple kids with the actor from Bones and SEAL Team and Angel, David Boreanaz. She's been married to him almost 20 years. And Jamie's such a sweetie. She was on Son of the Beach, Gone in 60 Seconds. And of course, she was on the TV show Howard Stern produced called Son of the Beach. But she's so cool. She's called me on my birthday. She grew up with my sister riding horses. And there's another example of how hot the girls are here in Utah. So guys, if you're moving to Utah, I don't want to hear that there's no girls here, because there's a million and they're just as hot as anywhere. And I've lived in Hollywood. I've done the movie business there. I lived in Vegas 10 years. I see more hotter girls in Utah than even Los Angeles. So that's just a fact. I'm not like, I'm not pro Utah trying to kiss someone's ass to get free rent. But Julie Huff, do you know Juliana Huff? She's on Dance with the Stars, America's Got Talent. She redid Footloose. She went to my high school. Her brother's Derek Huff of Dance with the Stars. But look at how pretty she is. Dang, man, girls are hot here. Makes me want to, look at Whitney, Dancing with the Stars. She lives right on the other side of the hill where I'm at right now. And she grew up with Lindsay, her best friend. And I mean, God, the girls here in Utah are insanely hot. And I'm not getting any type of, I'm just being honest. So, oh God, I love this car. These Trans Ams for a while were deemed cheesy, because the logo, the decals, and the 70s and the horsepower wasn't the same. Now I'd kill for this car. These cars now are like 30 to 50 grand. Silver interior, 4-speed, 6.6. Remember Sammy Hagar singing about Trans Am, Highway Wonderland? 6.6 4-speed. Look at how sexy that car is. T-tops? Yes, please. So anyway, the Bay City Rollers. I love that. That is so funny. My good buddy Tanya is sending me her tacos. The only problem with that tacos, there's not enough cheese. You put avocado and all those healthy stuff, but I'm still like a cheese maniac. And Toy Story Part 4, that's what I'm going to watch in just a few minutes. And there's my new Lego kit. I'm so proud of this thing. I just love it. Look at how sexy that is. Isn't that badass? So anyway, all right. Well, if you guys are watching me on Facebook, what's going on out there? It's Friday night right now. And let me look at my events section on Pure Rock Radio. Let's see what's coming. I'll share my screen again. You guys can kind of check it out. Okay, tonight, George Lopez goes on stage at about 8:30. George Lopez, I was in a movie with my best buddy, Jeff Middleton, called Ski School. And there's a very young George Lopez. He's not even a stand-up comedian yet. He's just like a guy that has a little part in the movie. But Jeff and I were extras, dancing, having fun in Ski School. It was filmed up in Park City, right behind me here up in the mountain. But yeah, George Lopez, guy, he went from like cheesy actor to like a major stand-up comedian and a great talk show host. I actually loved his talk show. But yeah, here he is at Eccles Theater in about 45 minutes. FearCon, I'm going to be here tomorrow. FearCon is like Comic-Con. If you like blood, guts, and gore, FearCon is tonight and tomorrow night. It's at the Riverbend Sports Complex. It's just out in West Valley. Tickets aren't even expensive. You want to meet Tara Reid? Do you guys know who Tara Reid is from American Pie and Sharknado? She's out there signing autographs, and they've just got blood and guts and gore and all the FearCon, all the stuff like Freddy Krueger and that. It's tonight and tomorrow night. I was tired today. I was going to head down there tonight, but I'm actually going to go tomorrow. So FearCon, check it out, Riverbend Sports Complex. I'm going to post it, and you'll see me live on my Facebook thing. And tomorrow is one of the last concerts outside here in Utah. It's super cold at night. A little bit of snow came down at Godsmack 2 nights ago, my friend said. But live, and the band Bush are out at USANA. And if you look down here, on the 16th is the last outdoor show of the season. And it's going to be colder as a witch's tit, as they say. But a day to remember with I Prevail is going to be out there. But On the 15th in a couple days is the best Halloween band, heavy metal band ever, Gore. I mean, look at that. It's at the Depot on the 15th. So just killer shows coming here. Look, even the Iron Maidens are coming back to do a special Hollywood bash at the Royal, and that's on October 18th. And God, there's just so much great music coming. So, but anyway, that'll do her. Let me get my screen back. All right, my friend got a hold of me and said, how do you eat bananas with peanut butter? And I'm like, come on, man. I'm the guy to ask. I'll just do it live on Facebook. And I'll do it in a non-gay looking way. Not saying there's anything wrong with being gay, but sometimes when a guy eats a banana, it looks kind of gay. Like if I eat a banana in public, I totally I'll hide. I don't want to it looks kind of funny. So I'm insecure about my masculinity or my machismo. So I'm just going to break it off right now. All right. So take your banana, hold it gently, because if you grip it a lot, it'll turn to water in your hand and falls all over and turns to shit. Okay. You get yourself one huge scoop of peanut butter. Don't be a little baby. Don't be a little biatch. You get yourself 4 tablespoons on 1 teaspoon, okay? Hold it like this. Hold the banana, because see, if you hold it, it'll smash in your hand, okay? Don't go like this. All right? That's too, and that's cool. It's all right. Now I'm going to eat the end of this. Don't watch me. When I watch people eat and talk, I literally want to punch them in the face. Don't look right now. Turn away from the screen. No, here. Okay, better. The proper way to eat a banana and peanut butter is to go like this. Take a bite of the banana. Put it on the side of your cheek. Take the spoon upside down and go like that. And you can put as much peanut butter as you want without the banana going freaking the hell out. If you try to spread peanut butter on the top of a banana, it's a mess. You try to eat it. Some bites don't have enough peanut butter in it. Like right now, if I wanted more peanut butter, all I do is take another bite off the spoon. Now, don't hold it upside down the whole time because gravity will take over and you'll have like a big sploogey of peanut butter on your crotchola. Dogs like that. If you have peanut butter crotch, you're going to have a pit bull named London snacking on your wing. So don't put peanut butter on your Wang Chung. One more time, take a bite. Side of the cheek, upside down, and peanut butter. Now don't look, I'm going to chew. Hold on. God, don't you hate when people chew and eat and talk at the same time? I knew when I was going to do this, it was going to freak me out. So I'm trying to be as classy as I can when trying to snack on peanut butter and banana. So, all right, that's going to do it for my tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my banana, have me a light little dinner. Now I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch a movie that I trust. My friends, every one of my friends that got a hold of me today after I rented it said, oh, it's awesome. If you like part 1, you're going to love part 4 too. So I'm very excited. Boom. You guys have a good night. And I will be all over Facebook tomorrow. All right. So if you guys like FearCon and all that crazy shit, we're going to have some fun. Okay. So, all right, that's going to do it. You guys have a great Friday night. Okay. And I'll see you guys on the next video. All right. Take care. Bye.